happy Friday, guys. Are you enjoying your con so far? Yeah? Okay, so I need you to do me like this really big favor because I have this friend that I really want you to meet, and you're gonna wanna meet her as well. But in order for you to meet her, I need you to just make sure that you get really, really loud because we may be the smallest state, but we can definitely be the loudest. So I would like to introduce the one, the only, the fabulous Miss Bryce Dallas Howard. Welcome to Rhode Island.
Hello, thank you. Oh, good. I don't have to press anything.
No, you don't even have to do anything. It's
great.
amazing.
That's so great. Look at I'm still obsessed with your boots. See, I was excited about my boots, and then I saw her boots. And I was like, I like your boots.
I like your boots too.
Thank you.
Yours look a little bit more comfortable than I do.
They're very comfortable.
I'm not gonna lie. So, oddly enough, the last time that you and I did this, which you probably won't remember, was for Jurassic World, because I got to cover that press junket, and it was one of my favorite things, because everyone in that junket wouldn't stop talking about the fact that you were running in heels, and you told me that I was the only woman that didn't ask that.
Oh, yeah.
The only one. And I pride myself on that moment still to this day.
Yeah. I was literally talking to my 13-year-old daughter yesterday, and she had gotten off a call with her rabbi. She's studying for her bat mitzvah, and she was like, yeah, my rabbi, she was just going on and on about you running in heels in Jurassic. And I was like, oh, no, that's kind of a thing. That's like people talk about that. She was like, really? And I was like, yeah, like the convention tomorrow, I'll probably talk about it once every other person.
For sure.
And it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Because who doesn't want to run from dinosaurs in heels, realistically? Come on.
Yeah.
If we're going to do it, we don't want to put sneakers on.
Yeah, because it was a true story.
Yeah, absolutely. And
historically accurate.
I'm going to be a little sad because you didn't bring Blue to visit me, and I really kind of miss Blue.
I know. I love blue. I wore blue.
Oh, I
blue
love
fingernails.
See?
I literally intentionally. I was like, oh, it's like Blue, the Velociraptor.
Yes.
These are choices that one makes after they're done with a franchise.
We're never truly done with a franchise, though, are we?
No.
Okay, so my first question is going to be this. One of the things that I've really loved about your career is you've never feared taking on characters that have been done in another series or by another actor. And sometimes I think that can be equally terrifying, but also kind of exhilarating and brilliant. So what would you say is your favorite part of having done that? Because you've done it more than once, and I love that about you.
Favorite part, because you're right, there's like not favorite parts of that for sure. And depending on sort of like what happened and what the circumstances were. But my favorite part, let me think about this. I think this is a weird thing to say. I think my favorite part is when it's over and it turns out okay-ish or great, right? Like it's because there are those thoughts that go through your head, and you are you can't approach it like you're trying to compare yourself in any way, shape, or form, but you absolutely want to honor what was established with a character. And that is definitely something where you never, at the end of the day, feel like, yeah, I just nailed it, because it's not entirely yours. It's something that's shared. And so you don't know if it's going to work out until a lot of time has passed. And I think that's definitely something that I've experienced a few times. Something else that happens quite often is that there will be folks who are cast in something, and then there's something else that they are scheduled to do, and it becomes a scheduling conflict. And I would say at least 50% of my jobs are those jobs where someone needs to go and do another job, and then you get cast 3 days before. Like 50% are like 3 days before.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would never think that.
Yeah.
That's
It's
outrageous.
many times. Many times. So, you know, it's always like a slight consideration in your head because they're like, oh, they could have gotten shame about so-and-so not doing it, but I'll try my best.
But I'm going to do it
Oh,
now.
yeah. I like being a runner-up. Like, you know, it's,
Yeah?
yeah.
There's nothing wrong
It's
with
like
that.
underdog stuff. Yeah.
I like
yeah.
that. So you've obviously been in so many amazing films. You've voiced characters. When you decided to get behind the camera and start directing, did you want to make everything your own? And how or who inspired what choices you've made as a director?
Kirsten Dunst, I'll explain why.
Ooh.
So I started directing when I was in high school. I acted in high school, just like in not professionally or anything like that. So I was like a real like drama nerd. But I also would write a lot, and I would write plays, and so started directing then. And so when I went to drama school, I would be directing simultaneously usually and putting on shows. And John Watts, who is, you know, Spider-Man and is the showrunner for Skeleton Crew and all that kind of stuff, we went to college together, and he still has a playbill of one of the shows that I directed when we were in college together. I was like, you were supportive back then, John. And so it's something that I've always really enjoyed. I've always really loved to explore. It's always come from a place of, like, it's literally always come from a place of that there are actors or designers who are wildly talented, and I'm shocked and stunned and appalled by the fact that they're not being hired. And so I usually kind of like orchestrate a scenario where I'm like, but we'll just do all this together. You know, we can just do it in the, like I did the play in the subway station with a wonderful actor, Catherine Waterston, who I was like, why is Catherine Waterston not being hired? And this was before she had done any film or anything like that. And I was like, yeah, we'll just do this show. And so I started directing short films when I was pregnant at 25. And then I kind of kept, I was acting, and I was surprised that acting was like sort of working out, but I was really, really focused on directing, and I was enrolled at UCLA, and I was taking a lot of directing intensives. And when I did this short film, it was a wonderful experience, and I finished the film, and it's totally a solid movie, but I remember watching it and saying, this is a film by someone who's not making choices. This is a film where every moment the music is nice. Every moment the lighting is nice. Every moment it's a little adorable. Like you're not playing with the medium. You're just, you know, I was just like, oh, this is beautiful. This will be beautiful. Won't this be wonderful? And the folks that I did this short film with, the next year, I was working with Kirsten on Spider-Man, and they were looking for someone to direct. And Kirsten's an artist. I mean, we all know that she's absolutely ingenious at what she does, but she's a fine artist. She's a storyteller. She's a filmmaker, and really exquisite taste. And I was like, you got to make a short film with these wonderful producers who produced for Sean Baker for years and years and years and supported him with his process. And so very, very cool producers, Kevin Shenoy and Francesca Silvestri. And Kirsten directed a short film with them. And I went and saw it, and I was blown away. It was a ghost story starring Winona Ryder. I highly recommend you checking this out if you can find it online. And I just could feel her. Like, I was like, a cool girl made this. A cool girl named Kirsten Dunst. Like you can't make that movie if you're not a cool girl. And I don't mean it in I mean like someone who has a rarefied sensibility, artistic sensibility, in a way that people look up to them. They're just like, they seem effortless, and it is. But her applying herself in that way, it was just so obvious. And I just remember thinking to myself, watching her movie, which I watched many, 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 many times, like 20 times probably at least. And I just was like, okay, I need to learn how to make clear choices, not just being like, this feels good. Like, make choices that maybe don't feel good. Like, understand the intentionality of what you're trying to achieve in terms of that feeling journey. And I enrolled in another program at that point and studied with an incredible directing teacher named Joan Shekel, and it kind of opened up my world in terms of, okay, being a director is not just about collaborating. It's not just about trying to create an environment to bring the best out of everyone. It is about those things, but it's not just about those things. It is also about, who are you? What are you here to do? Not just as a collaborator or a leader, but as a soul. And that's a very vulnerable thing to investigate. And I've been writing a lot more recently because I'm like, that's kind of the way to unpack that. So I'm sorry, that was a very, 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 very long-winded answer. I'm so sorry. But Kirsten, just seeing someone who, like, she can't not be herself. There's no pretense to her. Have you spent time with her?
I've met her a couple times.
There's no,
yeah, you can't.
No
like,
pretense.
She just is.
She doesn't fake anything. Yeah. She's the most genuine, authentic person, and remarkable and exciting. You know, it's exhilarating getting to work with her and be with her and all of that. And yeah, just seeing her work like that, I was like, I see it. I hope she gets to do more stuff.
Amazing. Before I ask my next question, which you so not even knowingly set me up for, so thank you. Everyone, there are microphones. You will have questions. You don't want to just listen to me. So please get up, and as soon as we do this last question, I will point to you and just tell us your name before you ask your question so we know who we're talking to. My next question actually was, I got into doing this because I love being able to tell people's stories, and I don't have the gift that you do. But one of my favorite things...
that is probably not true, but I don't mean to interrupt you, but...
How dare you?
You've not explored that avenue, potentially. You've been drawn to other avenues, but maybe you probably have that gift.
Maybe.
But anyway.
So one of my favorite things that you've ever done is the documentary that you did with your dad about families. And the reason why was because I don't have a wonderful relationship with many members of my family. And I can't remember the last time that I had such a visceral reaction to something like that in a very, very long time. It was different than anything that I had seen that you'd done before. So what was that process like? Because that couldn't have always been easy, but it also had to be probably one of the most rewarding things.
Well, thank you for that. So the movie, it's a documentary called Dads. It came out in 2020. It's on Apple TV+. It's short. That's like my biggest selling point, which I probably shouldn't lead with. People are like, "Oh, she said it's short."
Because it's still amazing.
Oh, thank you. It's not extraordinarily long. It doesn't overstay its welcome, hopefully. So Dads was really a joy to make, and there were a lot of coincidences that happened while I was making it. We were living in a moment. I made it in 2018 and 2019, so this was kind of immediately sort of like post Time's Up, Me Too movement, and I have felt very, very, very grateful to have been raised by many wonderful people, many of whom are men, and my grandfather and my dad and my brother and all of that, and my husband, and I felt like at that moment I wanted to uplift our great men, because also I was very frustrated because in media so often fathers are portrayed as these sort of bumbling fools, and the reality is dads are trying hard and they are doing it. In a big way, and it's been a huge leap generationally, and like this generation has done it And I'm sorry, I'm going to swear, they get shit on. It's not cool. It's not okay. What they're doing is the most important work in the world. And so I just seeing this, seeing dads genuinely thanklessly show up for their kids in the way that they do. I just wanted to just show that. And while we were making it, and then I wanted to interview comedians, stand-up comedians, because I feel like there are modern-day philosophers, stand-up comics, and wrestling with our existence and what it means and the absurdity of it all. And so I interviewed stand-up comedians about being dads, and then I focused on several families around the world. I learned that in Japan, there is paid paternity leave, and less than 1% of the men take the paid paternity leave because the culture does not support it. And so you can have policies in place, but if the culture is working against those policies, you're not going to get anywhere. And so that was sort of why I endeavored upon that. And about halfway through making it, I was like, ooh, I really missed something. I need to have a new dad. Like I should be following someone who's like a new dad. And my brother and his wife got pregnant. And so I ended up filming my brother. And I spent a lot of time testing cameras for Canon. I worked for years just testing their professional cameras and lenses. And so I had access to C300, C500, C700, and I knew how to operate it badly, but enough. And so I just got to kind of take this camera and spend a lot of time with my brother and my family. And my dad kept being like, I don't want you to interview me. No, I don't want to be a part of this. And I tricked him and interviewed him. I was like, will you just come visit? Jimmy Fallon's coming by. I want you to say hi. I think you should really come and say hi. Can you just stand there? I need a lighting test really quickly. Here, I'm just going to test. I'm going to ask you a few questions. I just want to test it out. Literally, that's how it was. That's amazing. And then next thing he's crying. He was beautiful. He was beautiful. So it was a beautiful opportunity for me to kind of celebrate a lot of the folks in my family who I love very much and admire very much, and a lot of folks out there who are doing a lot of hard work.
Yeah, that they don't always get thanked for.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, Mr. Is that a Grinch hat?
Yes.
All right,
no,
Mr.
No.
It is not.
Reptar.
Okay, thank you. Reptar. Could you please tell us your name and then ask your question?
My name is Derek, and my question is, what character is your favorite character to play that your dad has directed movies? Because I know that you've been in quite a few movies that he's directed. So what's your favorite character, and why is it the Grinch?
Okay. So I'm gonna maybe bum you out a little bit right now. So my dad started dating. I'm gonna start with the headline and then I'll back up and be a little less long-winded. I haven't had a role in his movies. I'll tell you what that means. So my dad and mom got together when they were 16 years old. My mom is not an actress. She hates this shit. She was raised by scientists. She's like, nah. But my dad is superstitious. And so he's put her in all of his movies since they were 16 years old. Just in the background. In Splash in the beginning, there's a moment when young John Candy drops all these coins and is looking underneath girls skirts. That's my mom's legs. So yeah. So she's been in everything. And and it's always kind of a okay, Ron, what is it going to be this time? In Eden, there were literally, other than the female leads, there were sailor characters. He had her dress up as a man, as a sailor.
Your dad is my new hero.
Yeah, honestly, and she was like, this was too easy to turn me into this. She was like, this is not comforting. So because of that, when I'm one of 4, we would always be on set, and my dad would be like, okay, Cheryl, like, can you be in this scene in this day? And she finally would just be like, can you pick something where the kids can be there too? Because this is like, who's taking care of the children, essentially. And so they made a rule that we were only allowed to be in the background starting when we were 7, and no lines, nothing written. It was really just to be present while my mom was doing her like superstitious
So we
thing.
knew where you were.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, and I always wanted a line, but of course never had it. There were times I remember, like during Far and Away, there was a scene. I was 10 or 11, and there was a scene where Tom Cruise's father dies, and it's a funeral, and like the camera was right here, and I literally like cried on cue every single shot. Nobody said anything. I was like, guys, do you not see the young child in the back of the shot behind Tom Cruise weeping? Like, I'm sure it was an issue in editing. I'm sure my dad was like, Bryce, why did you do this? So I would have these experiences, and I always wanted to have a line. And in The Grinch, my dad's second unit director was doing something, and we had all like done and gotten in the prosthetics and stuff, but it looked like it wasn't going to be possible. I was in college, and it looked like it wasn't going to be possible for me to like actually do it. And Todd, the second unit director, was like, "Bryce, come over here, and like just go in here, and just you'll be in the background of this scene, and that way you can like be in it." I was like, "Oh, cool." And then right before we were shooting, Todd yelled out, he was like, "Bryce, I want you to have a reaction where you're surprised, where you're like, woo, like something like that." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And I did it. And then the scene isn't in the movie or anything, but I'm listed as surprised who. So that's how many times I've worked with my dad. Literally, it was like not even him. But I would love to. And Dad's, like you said, that was produced by Imagine. I just directed another movie. If anyone in here, raise your hands if you have pets or have ever had pets. Okay, I have a movie for you. It is called Pets. It is on Disney Plus. It is also short.
And amazing.
Thank you. And I interview kids about their pets, and I follow adults around the world who don't have children with pets, so their pets are kind of like their kids. And yes, and that's like a fun thing to watch, and that was with Imagine. So I have worked with my dad in those capacities, but he's never directed me. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Hello, sir.
Hello there. Bryce, many of us are here only because of you tonight.
No.
Really.
Oh, wow.
My question is going to elaborate what you were just talking. Your movies are legendary. A lot of them, everyone knows by name. Some of them, they don't even realize you're in it. But your directing is incredible. How much, and we know nothing's ever been said bad about your father. In Hollywood, they epitomize them. How much, not peer pressure, how much personal pressure, because we know he was very supportive, have you had in your career when you found out, because you started at a very early age, but how much personal pressure did you have when you realized how iconic your dad was? Did it eat at you, or did you just, because you have the talent in directing and acting, and maybe that's foregone because of your genes from your father, but did you ever have a personal pressure on you because of that? Not a peer pressure. I got to be good as my dad.
Yeah, no. What a wonderful question, and thank you so much. I think it's a little loud backstage.
We can hear you.
Ben?
Sorry. I have two feelings about this that are somewhat in contradiction with one another. I have awareness of the fact that most likely, like I have when I've seen someone who's a child of, I'll just compare, right? Like not in a vicious way or anything. I'll be like, oh, they're not as good. Like, or, oh, okay, they kind of have the smile that they have, or they kind of have the twinkle, or, oh, interesting. Or they're not what I would think they were. You know, there's a little, when you're the child of someone, people are curious. And in this industry, so much of what you're trying to do is to capture people's attention. So that is a huge advantage, a massive advantage. So I was always aware of the fact that when I sort of was working, that there would naturally be comparison. My dad is a prodigy. A prodigy. I was almost held back in kindergarten. Really? Really? And I'm not neurotypical. I was nonverbal. I didn't show up. I'm autistic, and I took a long time to develop, and so I was very aware that we have a lot of similarities, but we were different. I wasn't as fluent in the world as he was at a young age, and I knew that I had more growing that I needed to do, and I knew that I needed to learn. And I am very good at learning. I'm very good at learning. It's like my thing. It's like that Keanu Reeves thing in The Matrix where it's like, I know Kung Fu. Like I get very fixated on something, and I'll be like not sleeping for 2 weeks, and then I'll just be like, so there's this language that I learned? You know? No, I wish I've learned another language. But basically, because I know that there's going to be some comparison, I know that there's a responsibility on my part to, when I come to the table, to not be green. Okay. Because I've had access. I've had access to knowledge. I've had access to relationships. I've had access to experiences that the typical person who wants to come into this business wouldn't have. So I feel it's incumbent upon me to show up representing the privilege that I've had access to, and not sort of just being like, I'm just gonna try it out in front of everyone and be a big mess, you know. And that's good to be that way as a young creative. But I felt for myself that it was important to study rigorously and learn and lean into mentorship and to try my best to make the most out of the profound opportunities that I've been given. So there is a sense of personal, it's less pressure and it's more sort of like responsibility and gratitude, a lot of gratitude. People, as a femme director, a lot of folks talk about not being kind of given the benefit of the doubt. People not, being in a leadership position, needing to sort of, that being kind of like a sticky, tricky thing. Not only has it been modeled for me my entire life, what it looks like to lead a set, it's been modeled for me by a man, by a white man, and I have had the chance. I mean, how do I put this?
Say what's on your mind.
It's just, I don't want to fuck up.
You're so talented in all aspects that you would even be where you are now, even if your dad wasn't who he was. I mean, hats off to what you have accomplished so far, many more successes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question.
And I have to say, I feel a lot of support. I feel a lot of support as a filmmaker. A lot. And people give me the benefit of the doubt. And that's not something that most people get. They assume that I know something because I was raised in it. And sometimes I don't. And that's a very fortunate thing. And so, you know, I'm very, you know, thank you so much for saying that. You're the sweetest. Howards don't know how to retire.
No, no.
We collapse on set and then it's the end.
All right, you're up. You ready?
Ray, aka MJ.
Thank you, MJ.
First, again, thank you for coming out to the biggest little state in the union and hanging out with us. So I'm going to shoot you a two-parter. You can do both, or you can choose your destiny. First one, out of all the people you work with, who just shattered your perception of them? Like you had an idea, and then you met them, and you're like, whoa, they're actually way better than I was thinking, or you know what, I was way off. And then the next one would be, who's a person, like, if they told you this person's working on this project, you go, I'm in. I don't even need to read the script or anything. I'm there.
So I'll start with the second one. As an actor, I'm all about directors. Like maybe it's a little Freudian, but like I just want to show up. I want to be a vessel for their work. I want to do the best that I can. I love working with directors who are more experienced than me, which there's plenty of them. So usually if there's a director at a certain level who's doing something, I'm like, I'm in.
Like Spielberg, kind of? Like
Oh, totally. Just, yeah.
Bam, that, you go that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it wouldn't need to be a perfect part. It's just the chance to get to be on those sets, too, because every director does something different. And so to get to witness how they do the thing is very, 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 very cool. So there's a number of directors that I would just do it immediately. God, there's so many great actors. Just working with great actors is also, it's very tempting. You know, if there's someone who you're like, whoa, their work is exciting, you get this like front row seat to their process, and it's sometimes not anything like what you would think at all. Ooh, exciting. Actually, sort of on that note, what I was going to say is like, so two actors who I admired before working with them, and then was just totally delighted by the surprise of who they actually were. And when I say their names, you're going to be like, oh no, duh, of course they were that way. But working with Jeff Goldblum, have you guys interacted with him at all? Any of you? Raise your hand if you've ever met him, been in a room with him. He's special, yeah? He's very special. He memorizes every single person's name in the crew before stepping on set. He doesn't memorize their first name, he memorizes their entire name. When I went to do Dominion, my assistant is named Sonia Aurora Lepe, and she was a crazy fan of Jeff Goldblum. And I was a little like nervous. I was like, oh God, she's gonna go up to Jeff Goldblum. It's gonna be a whole thing.
This is gonna be weird.
Yeah. Like Sonia comes to cons, like it's like that's the vibe, right? And she went up to him and was like, hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. I work with Bryce. My name is Sonia. And he took her hand and he goes, Sonia? Sonia Aurora? Sonia Aurora Lepe?
Did she not melt?
Honestly.
I would've.
And she was like,
I was gonna say, did she stay standing?
I know. And he did this with everybody. And I went on a plane with him once, and I saw him talking with folks and then very discreetly writing down people's names. And he would write them down so that he would make sure to remember everybody's names on the plane. Everybody's names. So it's just, sometimes you meet people and you're just like blown away by their humanity. You're just blown away by it. Blown away by their creativity and their rawness and tenderness. And, you know, working with Sam Rockwell was so exciting because it was like working with a child actor who's unbelievably trained. Like, he's very trained. He is a true actor. He understands his craft. He works his material. And yet he's able to throw away all that work and be totally free and completely present and explore and discover and delight and bewilder. Just all the things. The choices that he makes are so out of the box because he allows himself to go there, but he's not allowing himself to go there because he's unprepared. He is the most prepared person, the most prepared. So it's such a joy to get to interact with folks. To be honest, I'm trying to think if there's ever been an actor that I have been disappointed by. There's a couple that have been kind of weenies, that have been like a little.
All years, Bryce.
Yeah, there are a couple. There are a couple that have been a little bit like where I'm like, well, those are too many complaints. But even them, they're awesome. Like that's it. Like maybe like a couple of people in the span of 25 years, I've judged a little bit how that they complained a little bit, but that's it. I love actors. I love
Thank you very much.
Best business in the world. I know that we have to be done because we have to get you back where you have to go next. And I know that you are all going to be very sad. But oh yes.
please. Yes.
We can do one more. We
All right,
definitely
good,
have time
good.
for one more.
All right, I'll try to keep it quick because I know we're short on time. But before
Yes,
I ask the
please.
question, Bryce, I made you something I want you to have.
Oh, well, look at that.
Oh my gosh. I survived Jurassic World and a Spider-Man movie.
That is adorable.
Not without a dislocated shoulder and a twisted ankle, but anyway.
All right, thank you. So anyway, I was going to ask you how you can run in heels, but I think that ship has sailed.
Yes.
Tippy toes, tippy toes.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that. So instead, here's something completely different. Have you heard the song about Jurassic Park by Weird Al? You haven't? Mhm. Oh, it exists.
Now we have something that you can Google tonight. Now we have it.
I know Nick Muhammad is a comedian who also, I think, did a song about Jurassic, which was really fun. I've never seen that. Do I go to Spotify and just
Oh, yeah, it's there.
check it out?
Yeah, it even has a music video.
You have it? Okay. Would you mind coming up here at the end, and we can enjoy this together? Genuinely, all of you, it means so much that you take time from your day, from your convention. You know, there's so many things that you can do here to spend it with me. I'm just it means so much. I love getting to be here. I kept saying Summer over there, who's helping me out and organizing all of this. We didn't know initially that there was going to be a panel, and she was like, "Oh, there's going to be a panel. Is that okay?" And I was like, oh, "Yeah, I like panels." I keep saying to her, "I'm like, I really like this. I really like this."
It's fun and it's different.
It's just wonderful because I feel a kinship with all of you. Like I feel about movies and stories and characters in the way that I can sense that all of you do, and so it's just beautiful to get to be here. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys all so much for hanging out with us tonight. Make sure you stop by this lovely ladies' table, and we will be back tomorrow and Sunday, and I want to see all your faces. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for sure.